Hey, welcome back to Pivot Era. This is our small pocket of calm, a space to pause, breathe, and reflect on the shifts and pivots we're all making in work and in life. Today, in episode 9, I want to share something that's been on my mind: the difference between praise and a telling off. Both are short moments, but they land so differently. And if I look back at my own path, I can see how each left its mark. I'll break it down in 4 short sections. 1. I'll start with a memory. When I walked into my very first job, I can still remember how it felt. The open plan office, the hum of keyboards, the awkward smiles from people I didn't know. I tried to look like I belonged, but inside I was nervous. I kept asking myself, will I fit in here? Will I make it? Then, a few months in, my manager out of the blue revealed an interesting comment, casually sharing, "I've noticed you've got a real eye for detail. I'd like you to get involved with this project." It was such a simple line, but it landed deep inside. The best part, that sentence carried me for weeks. It didn't make the nerves disappear, but it gave me something to hold on to, a little lantern in a hallway that otherwise felt dark. And I also remember the other side of it. A mistake on a deadline, the sharpness of a voice, the sting of, "What were you thinking?" That moment stayed with me too, but in a heavier way. It planted shame rather than confidence. Both moments lasted, but only one helped me grow. 2. Why praise matters. So why do we forget? What's interesting is that I can recall those words of criticism almost word for word, even now. But the praise, unless I really stop and replay it, tends to blur into the background. And that's the thing. Our brains are wired to hold on to the negative. It's a survival instinct. But in a workplace, that instinct can weigh us down. I've learned that praise isn't just nice words. It's recognition. It's a signal that says, you are seen. You are capable. Especially during transitions, when I've been in a new role or pivoting into something unfamiliar. Praise has been like a compass. It showed me where to step next, and more importantly, where not to. 3. The role of critique and the problem with telling off. Of course, I've needed correction along the way. Honest and constructive feedback is essential. It helps us all improve. But I've noticed a huge difference between someone pointing out a mistake with care and someone telling me off out of frustration. When feedback is framed as, here's what went wrong and here's how we can fix it, I walk away learning something. But when it comes as a blunt, you always mess this up, it just makes me shrink. One builds me, the other breaks me. And I've carried both kinds of words, sometimes longer than I'd like. 4. Pivoting how we speak and listen. Looking back, I realize I can choose how I handle this dynamic, both in how I speak to others and in how I speak to myself. When I've been in a position to lead or mentor, I've noticed how far genuine praise can go. It's not fluff, it's fuel. And when I've had to give critique, I've tried, not always perfectly, but to always make sure it guides rather than shames. On the other side, I've also had to learn how to receive praise. Not to brush it off, not to shrug and move on, but to actually let it land. Sometimes I write praise down. On days when self-doubt is louder than usual, reading this kind of praise back can help. And maybe the hardest part of all, turning down the volume on my own inner critic. Because if I'm honest, I've told myself off more harshly than anyone else ever has. So here's a small experiment I'm trying this week. Maybe you'd like to try it too. Offer one piece of specific praise to someone you work with. Not vague, but real and detailed. And when you catch yourself telling yourself off, pause. Reframe it. Instead of a sharp voice, try a gentler tone. It's not about ignoring mistakes. It's about changing the weight of the words we carry. If I've learned anything, it's this. Praise plants seeds, while a telling off can scorch them. And we get to choose. Yes, we get to choose. In our workplaces, our friendships, and inside our own minds, which words we want to water and nurture. Till the next time, and thank you for listening. I hope you get to make someone's day with positive praise. This is an AI voice-powered podcast shared by humans who simply want to connect across generations and normalize the art of starting again. New episodes drop every Wednesday and Sunday. Share it with someone who's navigating their own pivot or who needs to hear that beginnings aren't failures. They're growth.